All right, let's just get one thing straight from the jump. This isn't about motivation. This is about cutting out the excuses. Because if we're going to talk about discipline, we have to start with the one single, uncompromising truth. It is your responsibility and nobody else's.
Okay, so let's get into it. You want all this stuff, right? A better life, better results, better habits. The desire is definitely there. You can feel it. You can almost taste what that life would be like. But then the alarm goes off, and you're still here, in the exact same spot, but the same old frustrations. Nothing's really changing. And that one question just hangs in the air, doesn't it? Why? Why is this so hard?
And so you start building a case in your head. You start to rationalize it. Because, it can't just be you, right? No, that's too simple, too painful. It's got to be something else. Some invisible wall that's keeping you stuck. It really feels like something or someone is actively holding you down, keeping you from being the person you know you could be.
And this is the script, isn't it? The one you play on a loop. If my job wasn't so crazy, if I just lived somewhere else, if my family would just get on board, then I could finally change. You tell yourself these stories to make sense of why you're not doing anything. You build a prison out of your circumstances, excuse by excuse, and then you spend all day complaining that you're trapped behind bars.
But let's just try on a different idea for a second, a much more uncomfortable one. What if there are no walls? What if there's no big conspiracy against your success? What if your situation, your environment, all those other people, what if that's all just noise, and the one person who is actually truly holding you back is you? To really understand why you're stuck, we have to go a little deeper. We need to diagnose the pattern that's keeping you feeling so powerless, and that diagnosis, the core issue that's killing all your progress, really comes down to one thing: blame.
Look, your brain is fundamentally wired to do two things: seek pleasure and avoid pain. And taking responsibility? That is pure, uncut pain for the ego. It forces you to look at your own failures, your own weaknesses with no filter. It's deeply uncomfortable. But blame? Blame is the ultimate comfort food for the mind. It feels good. It protects your ego by pointing the finger somewhere else. It lets you be the victim. The real problem isn't laziness. It's an addiction to comfort. And blame is the most comfortable drug there is.
So this is the trade-off, plain and simple. When you choose to blame, you get comfort. It's a short-term win, but you give up all of your power, you stay stuck. But when you choose responsibility, you are choosing discomfort. You're accepting that it's going to be hard, that you're going to fail sometimes. And in exchange for that temporary pain, you get everything. You get control, you get the power to actually change, you get to grow. So you have to make a choice, right now. Are you going to keep trading your power for a little bit of comfort? You can have that temporary relief that comes from blaming your job or your past or your boss. Or you can have the real, lasting power that comes from taking total, brutal ownership of your life. You absolutely cannot have both. This isn't some new age idea. The Stoics had this figured out thousands of years ago. They called it the dichotomy of control. It's super simple. Everything in life falls into two buckets: things you can control and things you can't. Other people, the economy, the weather, you can't control any of it. Wasting energy complaining about it is the definition of blame. But your thoughts, your choices, your effort, that's all you, 100% yours. And that's where all your power lies. And here's the crazy irony of blame. The moment you say, "It's not my responsibility," you're also saying, "I can't fix it." If your problems are always someone else's fault, then you're just a passenger. You're sitting in the backseat of your own life, hoping that someone else drives you where you want to go. And seriously, how's that strategy working out for you?
Okay, so this is where it gets a little uncomfortable. We're going to stop talking about theory. We're going to talk about you. I want you to be totally honest with yourself for a second. You tell yourself you don't have enough time, but you somehow find hours for Netflix and scrolling. You tell yourself you're too tired, but you've got plenty of energy to argue in the comments section. You tell yourself that if things were just a little different, you'd be crushing it. These are just stories. They're well-rehearsed excuses you've gotten very, very good at telling yourself. So here's the diagnosis you've been avoiding. You think you have a discipline problem. You don't. Discipline is just a symptom. The root cause, the actual disease here, is a chronic, deeply rooted lack of accountability. You've become a master at pointing the finger everywhere except at yourself. This quote from Ben Lionel Scott is about as blunt as it gets, and it's exactly what you need to hear.
Whatever is going on in your life, your job, your health, your money, it's your fault. Not because you're a bad person, but because you are the only person on the planet with the power to do something about it. You have to accept it, you have to own it, completely.
You're waiting, aren't you? You're waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel motivated, waiting for the universe to just hand it to you. You are waiting for the entire world to change around you, while you refuse to change a single thing about what you do every day. It doesn't make any sense. It's a fantasy. Change doesn't just happen to you. It happens because of you. This might be the single most important thing you hear all day. So listen up. Stop waiting for a hero. No coach, no partner, no lucky break is going to swoop in and magically fix your life. You are alone in this. The person who got you into this mess is looking at you in the mirror. And the only person who can get out is you.
So, where does that leave us? Because just calling out the problem without a solution is useless. It's not enough to know what's wrong. We need a practical, no BS system to actually fix it. This is how we move forward.
Here it is, the system. Step 1, seize full ownership. The blame game is over. Done. Effective immediately. From now on, it's all on you. Step 2, focus on what you can control. Forget your 5-year plan. What can you do in the next 5 minutes? Can you do 1 push-up? Drink a glass of water? That is your entire world now. Master that. Step 3, build with tiny steps. Don't promise yourself you'll go to the gym for 2 hours. Promise yourself you'll just put on your workout clothes. Then do it. Every tiny promise you keep to yourself rebuilds that self-trust. And finally, step 4, embrace the suck. That feeling of struggle, that's not a stop sign. It's a sign that you're finally doing something. It's the price of admission for growth. And really, it is that simple. I didn't say easy, but it is simple. The moment you trade your long list of excuses for one single, small action is the moment your entire life starts to pivot. Every great thing ever accomplished started when someone decided to stop talking and just start doing.
You've got to stop thinking of discipline as this magical feeling that you either have or you don't. It's not an emotion, it's not motivation, it's a system. Think of it like a personal operating system. A life that runs on blame is like a computer full of viruses. It's slow, it crashes, it's useless. But a life that runs on responsibility, that's a clean, efficient system that does what you tell it to do, and you are the system administrator. You're the one in charge.
So, we've identified the problem. We've laid out the solution. There's really nothing left to analyze. It all just boils down to one final question. You think you're afraid of the hard work and the discomfort that comes with change, but you're afraid of the wrong thing. What you should be truly terrified of is the absolute certainty of what will happen if you do nothing. Just think about it. If you change nothing, 5 years from now you'll be the exact same person, just 5 years older, and drowning in 5 more years of regret. That is the real thing to be afraid of.
So let's end with this. Be brutally honest with yourself, right now. No more stories, no more excuses. What's the one thing you're blaming for why you're not where you want to be? Your job, your money, your past? Get it in your head. Now accept that that thing is not the problem. The problem is your refusal to take responsibility for it. Your new life starts the second you decide to stop blaming and start acting. The choice is yours.